Welcome to another episode of the Money and Business Hero podcast, where we talk about the three pillars of financial success: money mindset, money management, and money making. My name is Florian Fritz, and I have a very special guest again today. He's a professional semiconductor engineer. He's worked in many countries all over the world, but today he helps his clients get more financially educated through his many courses. And he is a precious metal and international property investor. He also runs a Cashflow Club Ireland, a Facebook group with over 3,000 members, helping people to improve their financial education. Welcome to the show. Great to have you here, Karl Davidson.
Thank you so much, Florian. I appreciate that lovely intro as well. You're doing some amazing things, here on the Money and Business podcast. I cannot wait to, provide as much value and entertainment as well. I do like to crack a few jokes every now and then to try and get some more value through, because I realize that value and entertainment, if you want to earn more money, provide more value. If you want to earn more money, provide some entertainment. And, I like to bring both. So thanks for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. We do like to have some fun. So great to have you here. Nice. Let's start with, how did you get from being an engineer to financial education, investing?
Wow. It's a great question. I guess, if I look back on my life, I'm 32 now next month in December. And, if I look back on my life, and I've done a lot of, introspective work on myself, a lot of personal development, a lot. Like, I've spent thousands and thousands of, money or currency, should we say, basically investing in myself. And if I look back on when I was like maybe 10 years of age, that's when I really started my kind of entrepreneurial journey of earning more money. When I was 10, I started a paper round around my estate. I was delivering 200 newspapers for £5, £5 back then. So it was, that's showing my age now, before we went into the euro. So I was delivering paper rounds and I was saving up my money. Then I turned 16. I was the legal age to start working in a job, and I started working in one of the best golf clubs in Ireland, and I would say the world, because it's a phenomenal golf resort. And I was a waiter there. I was doing, for about 4 years, I was working there part-time while I was also studying, for my school leaving certificate, it's called. And then also during my college years as well, when I was studying to be an electrical engineer. And then fast forward kind of a couple of years, I had been traveling around the world. I was living and working in Germany, in Dresden. So I have ein bisschen Deutsch as well. But aber ich möchte meine Deutsch verbessern. So like fast forward a couple of years, and I felt kind of stuck, and I didn't really know what I was kind of doing with my life. I had a good job, it was good money, working as an engineer on some of the most advanced semiconductor machines in the world. But I had lots of time as well. I had, vacations. I was going to different places around the world. I was Hawaii, I was in the Maldives and all these places. But what I was lacking was some sort of fulfillment or some sort of passion. And then, I came across this girl online. A woman. She basically introduced me to, where's the book? I'll show it here, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So I read that when I was working on one of the most advanced semiconductor machines in the world. It was like 150 million euro at the time. And I was listening to that, and it just really clicked with me. I really understood it, and I really got it. And I was like, wow, not that I was doing things wrong. There's no real wrong way of making money or anything, except for if you do it unethically, of course. But I was just taught to go to school, like in the book, as you're very, very familiar with it, Florian, to go to school, get good grades, which I did, get a safe, secure job, which I had. And, I just didn't have that passion. And once I read that book, I was like, wow, people need to know about this. People need to know about financial education. So then I started investing in more financial education courses. I did a coaching course with richdad.com, Rich Dad Poor Dad's, his company. And I just fell into it. I loved the moments of clarity people got, the light bulb moments that like, oh wow, it's actually simple to get some silver. It's actually simple to get some gold. It's actually simple. Like it's not for the rich and the uber, wealthy. The ordinary person can start converting some of their fiat money, and we'll talk probably a little bit about fiat currencies, convert a little bit of their fiat currency into real wealth, whether that's gold, silver, whether that's crypto, whether that's property, whether that's stocks and shares, something that generates more money, So, and it's just been a roller coaster. My wife actually, she was the one who started the Cashflow Club Ireland. And then I've just kind of taken over a little bit. She's in the background. She's the brains behind the operation. I'm the beauty, But it's just been an incredible journey, like helping so many people, not just from Ireland, but from around the world. Like we've got so many different nationalities in there. But we also host cash flow games as well, and that's phenomenal because you really see the light bulb moment. And it happened to me where I played it first, and my ego got to me. And I did exactly what I was programmed to do, and I went bankrupt. And so many people, that's happening right now, right in front of our eyes. Like you probably know this as well over in Germany. Like there's so many people that are struggling, like whether it's energy bills or whether it's putting food on the table, But now with financial education, we can help them, if they want to be helped. That's the thing. They need to come to that realization where, right, I've got too much month at the end of my money. What do I need to do? So that's the kind of spiel there, Florian.
Awesome. I love the cash flow game where we play a lot of it. And when with all the lockdowns, I played cash flow online.
Nice.
We had a game with people from 4 continents playing at the same time.
Wow, amazing.
36 people playing in four breakout rooms.
Wow. Awesome.
So, yeah, you can learn so much there. Absolutely. Now, you mentioned gold and silver coins. Why would you buy those?
Great question. For me, it was my first big investment. So after reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, I then started reading Retire Young, Retire Rich. I started reading Guide to Investing. I started reading Increase Your Financial IQ. I started reading Second Chance. I started reading so many more books, right? And, we had a lump sum of money, and we just didn't want to, leave it in the bank. Why? As Robert Kiyosaki says, savers are losers. And I didn't really understand that. I thought he meant like that's an insult, like, savers are losers. He probably does in his own humor, right?
Yes.
But like, but I was like, why would you save money when the purchasing power of your money is dwindling every single day, especially when they start printing money in 2020 and, back in 2007, 2008 during that financial crash. So we were coming into a lump sum of money, and we just didn't want to put it in the bank. So when we did the Rich Dad course, we got educated, and we said, right, for now, we'll park it into a boatload of silver and gold, something that has a real store of value, real money. It's been tried and tested over the last thousands of years. And it's a phenomenal, the feeling of even the sound, so having a bit of silver, a bit of gold as well. I have a little bit of gold. I'm more silver. I'm more of a silver investor. And I'll tell you the reason why is because of my engineering background. Silver is one of the best conductors of electricity. With the engineering background that I have, over the last 11 years, I've seen so many changes in the engineering field, the advances, the growth of companies, and the digitalization of different nations. And I've lived in China for just under 2 years, and you see people that are constantly, like, everything is just online, everything's digital, everything's like microchips, nanochips and stuff like that. And I was like, well, silver is needed in that sense. Yes, a little bit of gold as well, but silver is needed. So it's like, it has a practical use as well. So not only does it have a precious metal use, it has that industrial metal, that it's a consumable item. There's only a finite amount of it, and it's tangible. And I like tangible, not to say that, there's nothing wrong with other intangible or untangible, forms of wealth, but I just like to hold it in my hand. And there's another reason why I like to hold it in my hand, because I've seen a lot of videos going around by certain economic forums and stuff, and they're saying you'll own nothing and be happy. And I'm like, well, hold on a minute here. Who are you to say how I'm going to run my life and stuff like that? So I then doubled down on my tangible assets. So I also bought a property there, just at the start of the summer. And, so it is really about having, wealth, having whatever it is, whatever you're in alignment with as well. Like tangible is, in my opinion, always good, always great. But any other form is always good as long as it's in alignment with you as well. And that's very important when you're investing. So you want to make sure that when you're investing in alignment with yourself. So for example, if you're a vegan, and you don't eat meat and you don't wear leather and stuff like that, and you're pumping your money into like an oil company, that's harming the world and stuff like that, then that's out of alignment with, your being. So you got to be really, really mindful of what you're investing in as well. So that's what I've learned as well. Otherwise, you're just, if you're that vegan and you're pumping money into oil, chances are you'll probably lose it because, the universe knows. The universe knows,
That's a very interesting direction we're getting into.
Nice.
Yeah, you can be spiritual and have money at the same time. Is that right?
100%. Oh my God. Like, if you're a follower of the Bible, gold and silver is mentioned in the Bible for any Bible people, Bible lovers out there. I've lived in China and, and I've been in Taiwan as well. I've been around many parts of Singapore. I've been in, Turkey. I've been in Dubai. And if I look at different types of kind of religions and stuff like that, there's so much gold and wealth in their, in their religion, So if you are spiritual, if you are into that, then, people also say, gold and silver is God's money. And a lot of people are attracted to that, and each to their own, So, and it's, if it's in alignment with you, fantastic, So, but absolutely.
Awesome. Now you said more silver than gold. Is that just because you have better connection, or do you actually think there's more potential in it as well?
Well, it's not financial advice, Florian.
Of course not. This is for purely entertainment and education.
100%, 100%. But you know what? I definitely think silver is way, way undervalued. I mean, you can get one of these coins for what, 30, 35 euro, give or take a penny or two. I've niched down into collectible coins as well, which is, the highest grade coins you can get. So, when I look at silver with the knowledge that I have, I just think, it makes sense. It to me, it makes logical sense. Gold as well, 100%. Like every big investor, you look at any of the big investors out there, they will have some gold and silver in their portfolio. Look at the governments. Look at the tons and thousands of tons that governments have, that central banks have as well. I know one of America is the United States. They have like the most amount of gold, or so they say. Germany has one of the highest amount of gold and silver reserves in Europe as well. So like the countries with the most amount of gold makes the rules. It's that simple. It's one of the rules in Robert Kiyosaki's book. If you have gold and silver, you make the rules. So we have we've two private vaults, one in Ireland, one in America as well. So it gives us a little bit of sovereignty as well, should anything happen, so it's always good to be in different places as well. So but yeah, did I answer that? I think I answered that question.
You did absolutely. So yeah, Kiyosaki also says if you want to increase your income, you should have at least as much in gold as you want to earn every month.
Yes.
So if you want to earn 10,000, you should have at least 10,000 in gold.
Yeah, and it's actually really, like when I heard that, I read that in a book, and I think I heard it at one of his events as well. And I was just thinking, yeah, that makes sense. Like, I don't know what it is, but it makes sense. So I would recommend, if anyone wants to have a passive income or a residual income to whatever extent that they want, then have that amount in gold and silver and watch it happen. Like, you know, like since I started investing in gold and silver, it was predominantly actually bars. And actually my phone, there's a screensaver of my wife holding two big 5 kilo silver bars. And, you know, ever since we've started investing in gold and silver, like it's just opened up different avenues. You know, we've gotten into, you know, different asset classes like property, we got into crypto, we got into a little bit of stocks and shares, not too much. I think we own about 4 stocks. You know, we're not big into stocks, but hey, if people are, fantastic. But you know, it's just different avenues, different networks that you get, different knowledge that you get when you go through different networks as well. So it's phenomenal. And the experiences, you know, the experiences are phenomenal. Like, you know, the abundance that it brings is phenomenal as well. So yeah.
Awesome. Now you said it's easy to buy gold and silver, and most people don't know that it is. So if I want a silver coin, how do I get it?
Well, do you know what? Like when I first bought silver, it was bars, like, because I didn't realize, like, you know, these kind of coins. I just didn't know. I wasn't educated in that. So I just went online. You know, in most countries they have like websites where you can buy, you know, gold and silver bars and stuff like that. So I started going to them. But then obviously, because you have skin in the game, and that's very important. When you have skin in the game, you know, as I said, like you begin to go down different avenues. You begin to get creative. Your mind is like, oh, I've got gold and silver here. I've got property, you know, like I'm in many property groups as well. And like, you know, the different avenues that you go down and the knowledge that you learn, and you can get it online and stuff like that. But then you know, I'm part of some Facebook groups, and I networked with some people there. And I know back in 2021, I was getting it direct off someone as well. You know, so it was really, really interesting as well. And then you can just buy it online, but you got to be careful when you're buying online that you're buying the right ones as well. And that's where education changes situations as well, you know. So it's very important to kind of get the knowledge as well.
So again, get some education before you invest. Learn what you're doing.
100%. And that's why I always say, like, you know, take time to invest in yourself. Read these books, you know, and read different books as well. Like, it doesn't have to be Robert Kiyosaki. It can be Dave Ramsey. It can be Grant Cardone. It could be all these other people as well, you know, that talk about Patrick Bet David talks about money. Like, there's so many people that talk about money as well. So definitely get different perspectives as well. And then just take what's in alignment with you, what you agree with, and then run with it, and then watch your life change right in front of your eyes.
Awesome. Yes, absolutely. Totally right. And what would you say are the biggest mistakes that people make with money that didn't read the books yet?
They rely on people that are just going to take their money and put it into something that they have no control over. And that's the majority of people. You know, if you ever, I done, like, I love kind of social experiments and stuff like that. I'm so fascinated, you know, with personal development and people as well. And I love watching social experiments. Like, there was one where one guy, he had like a kilo bar of silver and a Hershey's bar, and he was like, which one would you rather? And they were like, oh, I'll take the Hershey bar, like, you know. And it's so interesting. And I think that when you don't get educated, when you don't do courses, when you don't learn from people that have what you want, that's very key. You know, when I look at someone, and if I take their advice, I subconsciously buy into their lifestyle. So if their lifestyle isn't the one that I want, or the one, you know, the one that I want in future focused in future tense, the one that I want, that's very important, because then you can't really take that advice. You listen to the advice, but at the same time, if this person is broke as a joke, and they're giving you some sort of kind of financial advice and stuff, you have to just remember that if you take their advice, you subconsciously buy into their lifestyle, and that's very important. But you know, also when people just kind of hand over money, like, it's really interesting. Like, a lot of people say to me, like, oh, I've got 10 grand. What will I do with it? I've got 50 grand. What will I do with it? I've got 100 grand. What will I do with it? Well, I've spent close to six figures, and I'm not saying this to impress you or impress the listeners or the viewers. I'm saying this to impress upon you that when you invest in yourself, when you become a better you, your bank balance represents that, or your vault represents that, or your stock portfolio, or your property portfolio. That's what represents that, because you're better, you know better, so you do better and you have better, you know. And it's very important to take time and invest in yourself. You know, read the different books, follow the different people, follow your podcast, Florian. Do one of your courses as well, because I know you've spoken with the greats of the greats in this industry, you know. So it's very important to, you know, learn from the people that are teaching it as well, and that, you know, are actually doing it, you know, because otherwise, you know, we lost a good couple of €1,000 there a couple of years ago, and you know, we were just like, right, well, that's never happened again, you know. So and you know, that's because we fell into that trap of like, all right, that person has, you know, what we want, but in the end, it didn't work out, and that's fine. You learn from it. You never lose. I don't believe in losing. That's a kind of loser mindset. It's a scarcity mindset. You learn from it, and then you grow, and then you get better, and you do better as well. Like, so, it's very important to get educated, because the education that you were taught about money is different to the education that is out there now. I mean, there is 8-year-olds making millions on YouTube, you know, unboxing their boxes of presents and stuff like that. And there is still people saying, go to school, get good grades, get a safe, secure job, put money into your pension. That's if you reach the age of 65, or they'll probably up it to 75. And by the time, you know, we get there as well. And you know, there's a lot of kind of differences out there as well, but definitely get educated, because as I said before, education changes situations, and it can, and it could, and it will, if you take action, change your financial situation as well. So great question, Florian.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, and Ben Franklin already said that investment in yourself pays the highest interest, right?
100%.
So if you only have 10,000, invest in yourself first before you ask which stock to buy.
Yes.
Awesome, great response. Thank you, Karl. Now, how important is money for you personally?
Oh, it's up there with oxygen. You know,
right?
like, I mean, like, at the end of the day, like, a lot of people, they fail to understand the power of money, you know, and if used incorrectly, you'll lose it, but if used correctly, you can grow it. So it's very important. If it wasn't important, you know, we'd all be living in caves. We'd all be walking around naked. We wouldn't be having clothes on our backs, watches, rings, and stuff like that. You know, like, money is important. And here's the thing: if you're listening to this, well, chances are you're listening to this and you're interested in money, you're interested in business, you're interested in investing. But what about to the skeptic person, or the person that has a bit of a negative relationship with money, right? If you don't care about money, money's not going to care about you, and you'll probably be broke. And if you're okay with being broke and complaining and spending your whole life going, oh, the rich are greedy and blah, 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 and all this sort of BS, you know, that what sort of life is that? That's a life unfulfilled. You know, I've never seen an unhappy person on a jet ski. You know, I've never seen an unhappy person when they get paid at the end of the month in their job. You know, so unless they look at how much tax they're paying, you know, but at the end of the day, they're still happy. So, you know, it is very important, but you have to use it correctly. And this is what a lot of people fail to understand. This is very important for the viewers and the listeners as well, is that it's not about making lots of money so you can go off and you can be on a yacht or drive your Lamborghini. Yes, that's great. If you want to do that, fantastic. But it's about the more money you make, the more people you can help in this world. And that's powerful, you know, because we're programmed to consume. We're programmed to be consumers and you know, buy the flashy thing, buy the flashy watch and all this sort of stuff. You know, we are programmed to be a consumer. We are a consumer nation, but Irish, German, world nation, you know. So we are programmed to be consumers. But when you are a producer, you know, and you're helping people like this podcast, someone might just get one snippet and it just might, Florian said this, that makes sense. Karl said this, that makes sense. And that's all you need. And that has a massive ripple effect on so many people, because I live by, a Chinese proverb, and it basically says that if someone gives you something of value and you benefit from it, you have a moral obligation to share with others. So someone gave me, as in my then girlfriend, now wife, we met online. She gave me this, and I said, all right, and I read this. Now I've got a Facebook group over 3,000 people, Instagram group with 6,500 followers and stuff like that. Think about the impact that's having on people. I know I've networked with loads more gold and silver investors over the last year, and big into property and stuff like that. Got in a little bit into crypto as well, of course. But that's the thing that you really need to understand is the more money you make, the more people you can help. I'll give you another example, right? Let's say you've got 100 grand in your bank account, right? You've got 100 grand there. You can only help X amount of people with that 100 grand. But let's say you took that 100 grand, you started a business, you created a product or a service that filled a need for something out there. You turned over $1 million in revenue, and you made €1 million or something. You can take that €1 million now and you can help more people, 10 times the amount that you could have helped with the 100 grand. So it is about helping people as well. And people don't understand that. They think, you make money and then you'll buy your fancy cars and stuff. And yeah, some people do that, and that's great. Power to them. If they want to do that, it's their life. Who are we to judge? But what it really comes down to is the more money you make, the more people you can help as well. So we donate every single month. We have in the Cashflow Club, basically, if anyone has any foundation or charity links, throw them in there, put them in there, and then we can donate and stuff like that. So it's very important that people understand that, and people recognize that, and people get that. So great question, Florian. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. And I think we've almost answered the next question with that. What's your purpose for money?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is to help more people. At the end of the day, yes, you want to live a healthy life. Your health is your wealth as well. But at the same time, my baby, right, she's 3 months old. Because we have, money, we were able to bring her to a chiropractor. She had a bit of a problem with her neck. So we said, right, we'll bring her to a chiropractor. We brought her to an Amatsu healer, because she had some reflux. And that's the thing, the more money you have, the more options that you have. And now she's sleeping fine. She got 6 hours last night, which is fantastic. That's why I'm so energetic now. So it's so important to, help other people. And with the Facebook groups, with the podcast and stuff like that, as I said, you might just get one thing from this, and it might just be the catalyst for you to be like, you know what? That's what Karl said. I'm gonna do something along the lines of that, or I'm going to, get in touch with Florian. I'm gonna get in touch with Karl and stuff like that, and we'll go from there. And watch your world change. If I look back on when I started this journey at 25, if someone said to me, you'd be doing this, you'd be paying cash for your property, you'd be, buying property outright in cash, you'd have a vault full of silver and gold. You'd have another vault in America. You'd have all this sort of stuff, and you'd have so many experiences with so many people that you've touched along the way. You've helped and stuff like that. I would be like, Jesus, that's dreamland. But it's happening. It's happening right now. So it's phenomenal. And I'm a big people person. I don't know if you've noticed, Florian. I get my energy off people, but people are a great asset, but they're a great liability as well, because, some people can be negative and they can drain my energy. But, I know how to avoid them and brush them to the side. But I that's what I love about my clients and being around people like that, is because I see the light bulb, I give them the tangible, results and stuff like that. And they have that boom, and they know what they want to do in life. And that's powerful as well, to be that person to help them as well, so that's it, Florian. I appreciate that.
Now, if someone wants to reach out to you to ask for more tips or help on how to grow wealth and become financially free, where can they find you?
Yeah, they can find me on Facebook, Karl Davidson. They can join the Cashflow Club Ireland as well. You don't just have to be in Ireland, living in Ireland. You can join obviously around the world, because there is a lot of similarities in countries, in their kind of their income and stuff, income tax and stuff like that. There's a lot of similarities in countries worldwide, in their financial systems as well. And yeah, Instagram, following Karl Davidson, YouTube, Karl Davidson. LinkedIn, you can follow me on LinkedIn, although I'm not really big on LinkedIn, but hey, I know some people are and they love it. But for me, I'm there on LinkedIn if you want to connect as well. And I have Snapchat there as well. So if you want Snapchat, just so that's it. Just message me, private message me. I'm as I said, like I want to talk to people. I want to, over the last couple of years, obviously with COVID and stuff like that, restrictions, lockdowns, stuff like that, we were pushed down and stuff like that, and now we're kind of springing back to life and stuff, and I want to make sure that I'm helping as many people as I can, so yeah.
Awesome. I'll share some of the links, at least, that you mentioned with the episode. And before I let you go, one more question, which is, what's your best wealth building tip for our listeners?
Tip, I can only have one.
Yes.
Okay, I have a good one. And this is where, I'll bring it back in a little bit of silver as well, is start small. And Kim Kiyosaki says this as well. Her first property, I think, cash flowed her like $25 or $20. When I played the cash flow board game, the ego got to me and I went straight for a big deal. But my advice would be, oh, the light went off there. My advice would be start small. Start small and then grow your way up.
Awesome. I think that's a valuable advice. Small steps take you anywhere. Just do one step after the other. Thank you so much for coming, Karl.
No worries. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
This has been very valuable. So follow the tips, buy silver, start small, educate yourself. That's, I think, some of the most important things we learned today.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks again for coming, and thank you for listening, and see or hear you soon on the next episode. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Money and Business Hero podcast. I hope you enjoyed this episode and you got some value from it. Please take a moment to leave a rating, or even better, a review. That helps awesome people like you to find the show and me to produce more and even better episodes. And don't forget to subscribe. If you want to get regular free tips, tools, techniques on how to build wealth and financial freedom, or simply how to improve your financial life in all three pillars of financial success, join my free Money Hero Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/moneyhero. Find the link in the description, or find out more on the website moneyheroacademy.com. See you there.